For an organisation called Batias, which stands for Basildon and Thurrock Independent Advocacy Service. Mm-hmm. We've been delivering advocacy services in Essex, Thurrock and Southend for over 26 years, since the Ockenden Hospital and other hospitals closed down back in the 90s, to support people with learning disabilities to access the community and be the same as everybody else.
Okay.
We do self-advocacy projects which help people speak up for themselves in a peer-to-peer environment, and we also do formal advocacy, which is one-to-one based and can support people with housing issues, Care Act issues and other things like that.
Okay, so what do you do in the business?
Most of that.
Okay. And in what way does your group benefit the people of Grays or Thurrock as a whole?
It gives them the opportunity to find out information, have their rights explored. So a lot of people put people with a learning disability in a category, and we only call people with learning disabilities by their first names. We don't say you've got this so you can't do that. It's more about you are a human and you can. So we're very much an empowerment organisation, supporting people who might come to us with an idea, and we support them to develop that idea. So we have a young lady who's trying to create an autism group for adults, because there's lots for children but not for adults. So we're supporting her with that. We run the 05 Club over in Ockenden, which supports people with learning disabilities and mental health issues to get out on a Tuesday night and share friendships, make friendships, fall in love, all sorts of wonderful things, learn new skills. So some of those people at the club are member volunteers, so they learn skills such as setting up and packing away a hall, learning how to count money, reading names on a register, taking responsibility for the equipment at the hall. So it's all very job skill related, and learning about each other. So we've found that a lot of people live in their own world and don't understand the disabilities of other people with disabilities, and this club itself helps people, and lots of peer-to-peer support helps people to understand other people's environments as well as their own. So things that we take for granted in life is not always prevalent in other people's lives, and that probably to do with history and life training and growing up and culture of families. And yeah.
So you're doing really well. How is your organisation funded?
We look for funding on a regular basis. We do lots of fundraising. We have a team that fill out funding bids. That's, as far as I know, that's pretty much it.
Okay. And what would you say has been some of the greatest achievements of your organisation?
Oh God, 05 is a massive achievement. We've done lots of surveys for that club because we support currently 60 people on a Tuesday evening to come together. And in a recent survey that we did, people have said that over the last 5 years, they feel like the club belongs to them. It's no longer a them and us club. Everybody mixes together. Other great achievements are supporting people to have their voice heard at a Care Act formal advocacy meeting. We had a gentleman who had a dolls in place for cleaning his teeth, and until one of our team looked at some photographs, realised he was left-handed. We managed to get him some privacy in the bathroom. So yeah, little things like that people take for granted, that, you know, there's the upskilling of lots of people, so especially with the club, people that couldn't read, now learning words, people that couldn't count, now learning money. It's because we give them time, we give people time. We also run some art groups around, and a coffee club and a lunch buddies, and lots of keeping safe work. So the lunch buddies was to get people out and about meeting each other, and that's worked really well because now, and they've learned how to cook as well. So these individuals have been making food at home, whereas before they would be relying on ready cooked meals and things like that. So health wise, it's improved a lot of people's health, and mental health as well as physical health. The coffee club that runs out in Basildon, again, does the same thing, brings people together, prevents mental health and encourages physical health. The Keeping Safe group that we've been running for 5 years has supported people to understand that they don't have to be a victim, if you like, because any criminal out there will pick on somebody who's classed as vulnerable. If you have the information as a vulnerable person to support yourself not to fall into that category, then that's a life skill, and it could save your life one day. So cuckooing is a massive issue, and gangs awareness is a massive issue. So all the staff have been on training courses left, right and centre, so that we can deliver the right information that comes straight from the police, straight from the fire brigade, straight from everybody else. And understanding that some people just want to be your friend for their own personal gain is a heavy lesson to learn, and quite a frightening one as well for a lot of our people that we support. And it's about having that expertise to be able to deliver that information so as not to scare people, so that they feel safe. It's not a token gesture, it's an ongoing delivery, if you like. And we do it right across Essex, Thurrock and Southend at the moment. But funding, wonderful funding, restricts how long we can carry this on for. So if somebody decides that this is not an ongoing concern, then we can't carry on, because we rely on the funding to make it happen, and then all those people don't get supported.
Do you get any funding from councils, local authorities?
Thurrock Council have supported us with the Keep Safe scheme in Thurrock, which is a yellow sticker in a shop window with a little black phone in it. You may or may not have seen it on your travels.
Might have done, yeah.
And that supports people who are classed as vulnerable, so that's elderly people, people over the age of 16, but classed as adults, to find a safe place if they feel vulnerable at any time. So if they lose a carer, if they've lost their phone, if somebody's picking on them, if they're lost. So it supports people with dementia as well as people with learning disabilities. So that's supported by Thurrock Council, and the 05 Club is supported by Thurrock Council.
Okay. Was it Keep Safe or Keep Safe?
Keep Safe.
Keep Safe.
So the Keep Safe and the Keeping Safe are two different projects that we do.
Okay.
It makes it so much fun to try and explain.
Okay. And 05, is that spelled?
ZEROFIVE, and it's nothing to do with the age of the people that attend.
No.
It's just I think before we took it over, some parents set the group up years ago, and it used to be called the Gateway Club, and then in 2005 they changed the name, and the group decided to call it 05 because that was the date that they changed it.
Okay.
So
and what would you say are sort of the biggest frustrations Is it the funding or...?
Funding for Batias as an advocacy service is difficult because we're not a children's charity or a pets charity, and I think that the people that we support are overlooked as having a need. So funding for that type of charity, for advocacy, is hard to come by. And core funding is a massive issue. To keep, if we can keep the office running, we can continue to support people. But if we can't, if we've got no admin, no managers, then we can't, which is the bottom line.